pressure in control. Man, that looks great.
Jets! 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 Woo!
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
Well, good morning, everybody. Here we are yet again on a, what day is today? What is this, Tuesday? Good morning. I'm happy to be here with you. We did the Monday Night Mock last night, and I only got 4 hours of sleep. So here we are. I'm GreenBean. Welcome to Good Morning Jets. And look, man, we have some stuff to discuss about rumors. I mean, look, we know this. We talk about it every year. I've made a point of trying to bring it to the forefront. This is speculation season. The media and everybody, man, everybody loves to jump on the thing. Doesn't matter if it's true. Jump on it. Be the first to say it and get some clicks and get some hubbub. And it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it ever was true in the first place. They say, hey, I talked to a guy and he said, and everybody goes, no, that's blah, 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 blah. That's what we do. So it's really important for our own mental health to remember none of this is even real. None of it's even real. And some of it might end up being real. It doesn't even mean that it was real in the first place. But guys, I got to admit, this is my comfort zone. This is what I'm used to. This is where I have some fun. So good morning to everyone. Twisted started us off today. Get those rumors rolling. That's it. It's time, baby. Oh, up for debate with Scoop. What's up? I was literally just talking to you, kind of. I was answering some of your comments under the video, not 10 minutes ago, buddy. So there you go. He says he doesn't want anybody at quarterback. He doesn't want anybody. I'm with you. I don't want anybody either. Bagachuk's here. What's up, Bagachuk? Matthias Simon of Jets Greenhouse fame. There he is. Troy Flett. Brian Johnson. Well, we're going to talk about these guys this morning. Guys, the news really revolves around a couple things for the New York Jets. Obviously, we have some good news if you're a grumpkin like myself. I am really happy that Tom Brady and Todd Bowles, the whole thing is just wah, 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 wah. That's what I like. Let me see what I got here. Do I have a trombone? Is this? Let me see what we got. Let me see what we have. Yeah, here we go. This one. Right? There you go. That's Tom Brady and Todd Bowles. I have to admit, dude, you know what I mean? Hey, look, I don't have much to root for, so I root against. I root against Tom Brady 100% of the time. I don't even recall a situation where I rooted for Tom Brady. You know, I mean, in some far off land, if I needed the Patriots to win for the Jets, something like that. I don't recall that happening very often. It's like a hair tickling my face. Something's going on. But yeah, so we got to see that. You know what? You know what it is, man? I would be fine with anything happening, right? Like, you know, in large part. But what I hate is how the media and other fans, it's like the first inclination is to find the reason to stab the Jets fan. Like, I'm just sick of it, aren't you? Soon as Sam Darnold throws a touchdown, the Jets suck. Like, well, he hasn't been here in 2 years. What are you talking about? Todd Bowles, the Jets never should have fired him. Oh, yeah? Okay, let's watch and see what happens. Todd Bowles was gifted a Super Bowl roster, man. Let's be real, okay? Let's be real. They just made it to the Super Bowl and deep into the playoffs the year before, and Bruce Arians literally said, I want Todd Bowles to have this team because I don't want him to have to go and to some bad team and start from scratch. Like, why? Like everybody else? Is that what you're saying? So, and everybody thought Todd Bowles was going to be this great winning, and he can't, dude. He's not a good head coach. And it makes me feel better in some weird way. I know it's petty, dude. It's small potatoes, but that's what it is. And we also got to see the Miami Dolphins lose this week. And look, they're playing the Bills, so it's bittersweet. But I don't think the Bills have the horses, man, to beat the Chiefs. What are they playing? The Bengals? I think the Bengals will take care of them. You never know, though. But I think once they get to the Chiefs, honestly, I think anything can happen in any game, but I think the Chiefs are a better team, more proficient. So that'll be nice to see those guys knocked out. But either way, the Miami Dolphins, get out of here. So that's nice, that's all nice. But then other than that, we have quarterback talk and we have offensive coordinator talk. That's what we have. And we're going to get into it. Kyle Ornsby's here. Like Paul said, I think it's a little, we'll talk about Lamar in just a moment here, but yeah, I'm with you, man. Harry's here. Good morning, Harry. Harry's with me 24 hours a day, I feel like, Harry. I think we got to get some sleep, buddy, you and I. Racing Jason, good morning. Yeah. Ryan Rivera's here. You guys are the best, man. Look at all you guys, right? Edward Ziff, Jennifer Slattery, Rebuilding is here. Look at you guys. No to Lamar. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So good morning to everybody. I see Salty Nuts and Chris Bailey's here. Lots of you guys are in the house, and I welcome you to Good Morning Jets for this fine Tuesday. But look, we have a big one. Everybody's talking about this. There's a rumor out there, and literally, I've been told it's heating up. That the Jets are kind of moving this way. This is their target, Lamar Jackson. Now, again, guys, you got to take it with a grain of salt because we don't know what's real. We don't. Some sources are better than others, and some sources, they could be getting information, good, solid info, but it doesn't mean anything until it's happening, right? So Lamar Jackson is this quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, let me see here. I'm going to get you some stats. Lamar Jackson, a very, very exciting player. Now, if you remember properly, he was the final first-round quarterback in the same class that we took Sam Darnold, and the Cleveland Browns took Baker Mayfield overall, first overall. Then you had Josh Allen. You also had Josh Rosen. So Josh Rosen has been, he was a complete flop, bounced around. Miami traded 2 seconds, I think it was, to the Cardinals 1 year. So we had 1 year with the Cardinals, and then they traded him to the Dolphins. The Dolphins said, yeah, we'll take a shot on that. Didn't work down there, and he's been bouncing around. He's been journeyman since. Sam Darnold, we know very, very well what's been happening with him. Baker Mayfield, another one. He's been on 3 teams now. He looks really like he had a resurgence over there with the Rams, but you don't know. It's like when guys are throwing caution to the wind, there's nothing on the line. It's I don't know. It seems easier to look good. It's when there's a little bit of something on the table, then people tend to crumble. And Baker Mayfield, I don't know. But Josh Allen's kind of the guy alongside of Lamar Jackson, who was taken with the last pick in the first round. So he came out of the gate, dude. Flacco was benched toward the end of the year. They were looking terrible. Lamar Jackson comes in, plays great. They get into the playoffs, and they don't make it too far. But still, the next year he has an MVP season, guys. MVP. And then since then, everybody, he's had a tough time. Now, it's not that he hasn't looked amazing at times. And he's looked like one of the more exciting players in the entire NFL. But let's take a look at his statistics really fast. We'll just take a quick little look-see and see if this is the guy that we want to give up all this stuff for. So now there are some Jets fans, and a lot of you actually, and there are Jets fans that I love near and dear to my heart that are saying things like, dude, it's time for the Jets to swing for the fences. Stop with this, this guy's good enough, that guy's good. Go for the top of the heap. That's Lamar Jackson. Go get him. He's 26 years old, and he just turned 26. So, he's going to play next year as a 26-year-old. He's not going to be 27. So it's not, spring chicken, but it's also not old, especially in quarterback years. The problem with him is that he's not a pocket quarterback. He's out there running, getting tackled. And the problem, the fear with running quarterbacks is that their bodies aren't going to last. I mean, they're taking, 3 times the hits that a pocket quarterback is going to take. So, all right, let's take a look at this guy. So now, number one, he's a 6'2", 212-pound quarterback who was he was slighted coming out in the draft. They called him a glorified running back, and he took that, he wore it on his shoulder, and he made everybody pay, man. That's what he did. So this year, let's do this. We'll do it this way. What is this? Get out of here. All right. Okay, so let's do it this way, and then we'll do the rushing stuff next, okay? Because you got to make sure that you add the rushing attempts and yards with Lamar Jackson. It's a major facet of what he brings to the table. So let's go. All right, the rookie year, like we said, he came in, he started the end of the year. Numbers aside, he did a great thing for the Ravens. So good, in fact, that they traded their longtime quarterback, Joe Flacco. So he got 2019. This was his MVP year. He played 15 games, so he missed 1 game. That was still the 16-game season. He has a 66.1 completion percentage, guys. Pretty good. 3,127 yards in the air. Not great as far as the number itself. But he has 36 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Oh, my God. QBR of 83. He was sacked 23 times. So let's add to this. Let's go down here and we'll look at the rushing on that year. Okay. Rushing and receiving. So 2019, he had 176 rushes, guys, for 1,206 yards. He also added 7 more touchdowns that way. So the guy, he has 43 touchdowns? Yeah, 43 touchdowns. And when you add 1,206 to 1,327, we're talking about 4,000, 4,000 and change. Okay. Now, that's exciting. That's amazing. MVP and all that jazz. Well, here it is. All right. Where did it go? There it is. So 3,127. So then the next year, he has a good year, but he plays 15 games. He has a 64% completion percentage, 2,700 yards in the air, 26 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. So the interceptions went up a little bit, and the touchdowns went down a little bit. Completion percentage goes down a little bit. Yards goes down a little bit. Let's take a look at the rushing. 2020, his rushing yards go down a little bit. Same touchdowns, though, which is nice to see. Right? So now let's look at this. So 2021, he has a 64, so it's the same completion percentage, down from the MVP year, but still pretty good. But then his yards, 2,882, so he's kind of right in that same pocket here. The touchdowns go from 26 to 16. Now, guys, a big reason for this is that he missed 5 games. So he's injured. He missed 5 games. Okay. 16 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. So the touchdowns way down, interceptions up. Okay. Now let's take a look at his rushing. Again, this is important for Lamar Jackson. The rushing is a big part of this. So his rushing yards go down significantly. Another 300, a little less than 300. 2 touchdowns instead of the 7. So do you start to see it? So he's gonna look 1 year down is fine, but then you add 2022. He's same rushing yards as the low season, 1 more touchdown. So he's kind of settling in this pocket, at least the last 2 years. But again, he missed 5 games this year as well. Let's look at his passing. So that's 2 years in a row that he's missed 5 games. Forgive me. Now you look at this, his yards go down in the air. Touchdowns, he's got 1 more touchdown and less picks. So this is a little bit better. This is better than the year prior. But again, it's not this. It's down here. So his yards on the ground are down. His yards in the air are down. The touchdowns on the ground are down. So do you see it? Like you can say that he's gone down pretty much every year. Like since there was that MVP season and he's gone down. He's gone down. Now, the other thing that makes this kind of a rub is that he turned down a $45 million a year contract with the team that he's with. So he's, valuing the money, which it's fine. But so he wants $50 million guaranteed. He wants the big contract. No, I know, just like this, this is the dangling carrot, right? Jalen Sidney says, Lamar with Brees behind our healthy O-line would be amazing. Yeah, theoretically, totally, 100%. But you give Lamar $50 million, and let's say he's out 5 games. And let's say his numbers continue to decrease, even if by a little. Is that worth $50 million? And how long is he going to last? I mean, look at RG3, RG3 was one of my faves, man. And he was, that running, exciting guy. And the one hit, and that was, he could never really come back from that. And it's spooky, man. It is. So it's definitely an interesting, look, if we went out and got Lamar Jackson, of course, I'm going to be like, yeah, all right. I'm going to root for him, the whole thing. But I got to say, man, admittedly, I feel like Lamar Jackson is fool's gold. That's what I feel like. I feel like the reason he's holding out is he knows damn well his body ain't going to hold up for 5 years. It's going to be 1, 2, and he wants it locked in now. He's willing to do what it takes to get that bag now. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know, man. I'd rather go for a guy who doesn't miss games. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Similar completion percentage, better yards. You know what I mean? Derek Carr, just for comparison's sake, more yards every year with a worse team, worse defense, the whole thing. He's more yards. I'm not sure about the touchdowns. They're comparable. I think Derek Carr has more. And he doesn't miss any games. He misses 1 here, 1 there. You know what I mean? Matt O'Leary, good morning, buddy. He says, definitely on the fence. I'd be excited if they landed him, but a part of me would be nervous too. That's how I feel, but I tend to lean more toward the nervous side. That's just the truth, man. So, but a lot of Jets fans are, listen, there's an argument going on. Every year we got to have our argument, right, Matt? Every year there's got to be the divider between us. And this, I don't know where this one will go, but it's already happening. There's already Jets fans arguing about the Lamar. Lamar or to Lamar or not to Lamar. That's the truth. That's what's going on. Like, look, a couple years, what's really funny? I've noticed this just with a few of the people that are pushing Lamar the most 2 years ago were the biggest Zach Wilson advocates. I've actually noticed there's a theme there. Now, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying anything like that. But I've noticed that. Like a couple years ago, they were the guys telling me that Zach Wilson was the hybrid of Mahomes and Rodgers. Dude, how do you not love this guy? It's like, I don't know. I don't. I like him, but I don't love him, dude. I'm sorry. I've watched so much tape of this guy. I don't love him. I don't. I love his potential, sure, but I don't love him. And I feel the same way about Lamar now. They're the same thing. Dude, are you kidding? How do you not want this guy? Like, I don't know. I don't. Again, I'm not adamantly against it, but I don't know, man. I think it hamstrings your organization for a long time. And if he doesn't make it, if he doesn't produce, and he doesn't play 15 games a season, man, then what is it all for? You got to bring in Brent Huntley and watch him lose. You know what I mean? Tampa Pete checking in. Thanks, Tampa Pete. Ravens are a marquee franchise with one of the best coaches in the game. If they want to move on from Lamar, that should be a huge red flag. Now, I want to make this clear. They didn't want to move on from him. They offered him $45 million a year. That's a lot, dude. $45 million a year. So there's that. But your point remains. If they are cutting it off at 45 a year, they're like, no, why are we going to be willing to give him 50? You know what I mean? Why? So that's the thing. But you're right, man. Like, if they're not willing to bend every rule to keep this guy, they go, hey, man, we can live without him. As a matter of fact, we haven't won a playoff game with him. I think they won the first year. Like, they did that Chargers game. Remember that? It was like they were just new, and it was. But once they've kind of figured it out, he's still a great player, man. And when he's on the field, anything can happen. And, he's amazing when he's on, sure. But they haven't won a playoff game in 3 years. And again, his numbers are going down every year, dude. It's not going up. It's going down. And his injuries. He's missed now 10 games in 2 years. That's what the Ravens. Bring him over here. He's going to fucking play 5 games for us. You know what I mean? We'll be starting, Mike White all year. Twisted says Lamar isn't the top. He's near mid-level. That's the thing. It's like when you just look at the numbers, and again, I'm a big story guy. I don't look at numbers alone, right? But if you do, you see he's in the middle of the pack. He's not blowing any doors off. He's not on 4,000-yard seasons. And, look, again, that MVP year was special. And he's done great things since. But I don't know, everybody. I think it's fool's gold. Rebuilding says, we're just leverage anyway. I don't know. I don't know if that's the truth. It's definitely been the truth before. There's reason to believe that, man. But I don't know. I think he'll end up being franchise tagged, and I don't know. You're going to have to, like, in addition to the $50 million, you're going to have to give up a bunch of firsts. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It really freaks me out. Maybe because I'm a loser and I got loser mentality and I'm not willing to go for the gusto. I don't know. I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you, he freaks me out. So Mid Flair says he feels like Carr is fool's gold. I don't think that's the same guy anymore. Well, there's an argument to be made for that. But if you look over his years, it's kind of very consistent. And again, numerous regime changes, complete tumult over there. The John Gruden stuff mid-season, the Henry Ruggs stuff, and he's throwing for 4,800 yards. So again, I mean, yeah. And there's the cold weather thing, and there, is he made for New York? He's sensitive. There's all legitimate things to factor in. When you look on the field, Derek Carr has been very consistent, and he's played. He's healthy. That's the thing. He's been healthy. Now, you never know what the future holds, but if you want to use the past as any gauge, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's how Hennessy, I'm with you. I feel like he's the safer bet, Carr. I get it. I get what you're saying up there. We need consistency, right? I see you, sneakers to boots. We need consistency. Richard says we need a starter, right? No matter who that is, right? At the end of the day, it better be somebody worthy of starting in the NFL. Yeah. Salty nuts, I'm with you. That's the thing. It's like you sign Lamar. We're going to lose our first round pick this year for sure. You're going to lose next year's first round pick. Probably more. So that hamstrings you. You know what I mean? With bringing in the next wave of talent. And then the guys you have, the Sauces, the Garrett Wilsons, when they come up, you can't. You don't have the money to sign them because you gave it all to this guy. And then if you guarantee it, if you guarantee it, you can't get out of it. There's no way to get out of it. Oh my God. Now, what would Carr cost, right? What would Derek Carr cost? That's the question, right? Could you get Derek Carr for half of what you could get? I mean, the 35 million versus 50 million. So there's that. But in addition to that, how many picks do you got to give up or whatever? What do you got to give? Because believe me, they're going to try to get something too. There's no way. Jennifer always hated Zach. No, I definitely didn't hate Zach. Definitely didn't hate him. But I was not in love with him. Let me say that. Everybody called me a hater, Jennifer. They did. By the boatload. Again, I don't want to make it sound like I was adamantly against Zach. I wasn't. I was like, if that's the guy that they think is the guy, and you have the horses behind them to get him there, then go ahead and do it. If it's Justin Fields, do it. If it's Trey Lance, do it. Whoever. If it's Mac Jones, do it. Just get your guy. I was a fan of trading back. And we could have traded back and gotten Justin Fields, Mac Jones, any of these guys. And who can argue Mac Jones is having a better career than Zach Wilson? I don't know. Anybody could argue that. Now, this is where a lot of people stand. Ant Jet says, I'd be happy with an upgrade no matter who it is. Yeah, a lot of people are right there. Dude, let's not overthink this, man. Let the team do what they want to do. Go get the best guy that you think is going to give you the best chance to win. You have a lot of guys in place. A lot of the guys are on cheap contracts for the next couple of years. Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, on offense, Michael Carter, Breece Hall. These guys are here for a few years on rookie contracts. Unless they hold out. So, there's an argument to be made. Okay, well, we'll put the money in the quarterback because we don't have to put it in these other guys. But you got to pay Q. It's going to get there. Twisted says, who's my dream pick? Name him and we'll get this rumor rolling. If I'm being real honest, Twisted, I don't have a dream right now. You know what I mean? I just think, it's a shame because I've been looking at the Mike LaFleur offense for 2 years. And what I've seen was that it's a quarterback away. Obviously, you'd like to see improved offensive line play, and of course. But I think if that offense just had a quarterback, we'd be fine. Honest to God, I feel like that. 65%, and this offense would have been rolling. And that's, not to exclude some of the really boneheaded decisions that LaFleur made. But I think, so it's like it's hard right now because I don't know who our offensive coordinator is, which brings us to the next part of this whole thing here. The Jets are interviewing some people for offensive coordinator. Now, the first guy that we brought in that's been confirmed is Kevin Patullo, the passing game coordinator of the Eagles. This is like, for me, I don't even know why they're wasting their time. Honestly, like, you just endured 2 years of LaFleur learning on the job. Why, oh, why would we now bring in a guy who's never called plays before? I don't give a shit how successful the offense he works on is. Oh, he did a good job with Jalen Hurts. I read an article today and said, hey, when he was on the Jets, you got to give him credit for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Do you? Ryan Fitzpatrick was like a 12, 13-year vet at that point. I doubt what Kevin Patullo did changed Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, maybe. I don't know. But it's a weird thing, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, sometimes I look at the Jets, right? And look, you guys know I am a Joe Douglas supporter. I trust him. I think he's done, by and large, a very, very good job with a very piss poor situation. He had to gut it and the whole thing. And I really do trust him. But sometimes I don't know why. Like, there are these, like, here I am out here, and I've been watching this team for X amount of decades. And so many times throughout the years, I've said, why? Why are we doing that? And it seems so logical. And then they do it and it doesn't work. And we knew it wasn't going to work. We rooted, we supported, of course. We got no other choice. So, like, even now, why are we interviewing like Joe Brady and Kevin Patullo and, like, dude, go get Darrell Bevell, which I heard he was being interviewed. That's great news. Greg Olson, Matt Nagy, Hackett, Nathaniel Hackett. Like, go get those guys, man. Guys that have been successful in this league. That's who we want to interview. Now, maybe the Robert Saleh doesn't want a power struggle. I don't know. Then that's where all these weird dynamics come into play, man. And if we're governed by that shit, it's over. I'm just going to tell you that. It can't be that. You can't be afraid to bring in a former head coach because you're afraid that he'll want to take over the team. Like, you can't, and I'm not saying they are doing that, but once you do that, it's over. I'm going to tell you that. It's over. Edward Ziff, what's up? Carr's best D ranked 24th. Ours is 3rd with no quarterback. I know, Rand. Like, that's the thing, too. Like, people forget that. Carr, I think his best was actually 20th. But still, the point remains, Ed. He's done those things with no defensive help. And then you look at our defense, they've done all that with no offensive help. Like, you just get a quarterback in here. And it doesn't have to be Lamar Jackson because he's only given you 12 games a year the last 2 years. Scary dudes. Scary dudes. No, Jennifer, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it. I'll look for it. I don't know what that is. All right, let's see what we got here. Brian Scantleberry checking in. Thank you, Brian. He says, I would rather Carr for 8 years than Lamar for 3. Lamar can't play like this forever, and if they want to keep Zach, he'd probably learn more from Carr. I know. Well, look, Lamar's young. I mean, he's 26. He's not young, but he's young. He's younger than Carr. But again, like it's his style of play. It's the running, you know? So we don't know. You don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather have Carr. And even if you kind of clip off the top of that, like that opportunity for like greatness, but you're going to get solid all the time, I would prefer that. Like greatness and then 5 games, no, we don't have them. You know what I mean? And the whole Zach thing is weird. I hope that they're not governing their choice on Zach Wilson. Like, yep, if you can do that, great. But don't control this choice and everything going on with Zach. You know, you gave Zach 2 solid years. I'm not saying get rid of him, keep him, develop, whatever you want to do. But he can't be the guy that you're carving your career out. It's like you just can't. What's up, Lord Streets? I see you. Yeah. Richard says Carr. Carr's the guy. Let's see. What did I put here in a banner? What did I do? Oh, yeah. So Brian Bevel. Now, Brian Bevel, man, when you take a look at this guy's career, what an interesting career. Lots of success, some failures, which, you got to learn from. I mean, he's the guy who called that play, man. He's the guy who called the worst play call I've ever seen. And that was Seattle Seahawks against the Pats in the Super Bowl. They're on the 1-2 yard line. Instead of just giving it to Marshawn Lynch for a sure touchdown, they passed it, picked off. Unbelievable. That was Bevel. Now, many years ago, and I'm sure he learned from that shit, man. But in addition to that, he's also credited with the complete development of Russell Wilson. I mean, that's Bevel. So I don't know. That's the guy I like the best, I think. In my opinion, it should be Bevel and go get Derek Carr. And you do that, then you use the resources that you retain and you go get offensive line. Make sure the offensive line is good and solid. And if you have anything after that, you go get a defensive tackle, you get a free safety, and you get a linebacker. That's what I think. And look, if you got change at the end, go bring in a wide receiver or whatever. So, all right, guys. Well, look, that's our news for the day. It's all about Lamar Jackson and Darrell Bevel and Kevin Patullo, and that's what's going on. But don't forget, you're allowed to feel good about Tom Brady and Todd Bowles being ejected. You're allowed to feel good about the Miami Dolphins being ejected. They played better than I thought they would, though, so they can feel good about that, but they're out. They still haven't won a playoff game since the year 2000, everybody. So when they throw at you, hey, man, you haven't been to the playoffs in 12 years. Say, skiddly-doo. You haven't won a playoff game in 23 years, man. I don't want to hear it. And most of those years, you didn't make it either. So they don't have anything on us. Whenever they bring up 1969, just throw right back on them. Yeah, yippee. You guys have 1972. Like, please. Please. Byron Leftwich got fired, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I like Byron Leftwich. I think they put him in a weird situation, But then there's the other argument. If he can't do it with Brady, who's he going to do it with? I don't know. Seemed to work the 2 years with Arians, everybody. It seemed to work with Bruce Arians. So, all right, guys. Well, listen. The like button's not working today, I heard. Everybody should try it. Everybody do me a favor. Check if the like button's working. But only one click. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We're close, man. We're close. And it's really appreciated. You guys are the best, man. So I'm going to go and and go back to sleep. That's what I'm going to do. But you guys, thanks for being here this morning. Let me get this off of here for you. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And look, I'll see you tonight for the Talking Jets panel, and then we'll do this tomorrow morning. All right? Everybody have a great rest of the day. Thanks for watching. I'm GreenBean. This was Good Morning Jets. And let's see where this thing goes, man. It's going to be an interesting few weeks. Enjoy. I'll talk to you later.
Let me put on my homer cap real quick for you. The Jets are going 12-5, getting a first-round bye. Home field for at least one game in the playoffs this year. What do you think of that? What do you think of it? That's what I'm saying. 12-5. We're going, guys. 12-5. 12-5, first-round bye, home field playoff game. Guys, it's going to be great. Are you kidding me? We were 2-14 last year. We have a whole roster full of kids. I got a first-time rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator. We don't know what these guys are going to do. We have a quarterback. He's never played an NFL game. Mekhi Becton can't stay healthy. I'm telling you, we're going 12-5. I'm telling you, you're out of your friggin' mind.